Okay, I think we're live. Now, I'll tell you, since I've been going, since the last time I went live, actually it was, a week or so, a couple of weeks ago. Before that, before I had all the trouble with loading videos, since then, the YouTube have changed how things work. They always do that every now and again just to be messing with people. They, when you're not looking, they'll change things. So now, like before, in my thumbnails, I used to be able to, hold an object up to the screen, and that would be the thumbnail. Every time it'd be a different object. Just for, now I think it's just the red screen, or the red logo. Anyway, anybody? Well, I've got a few people watching. If you want to put a comment in, you get a quick shout out, or just say hello, and you get a shout out. Let me guard your policy. I'm getting a message out there. So, okay. Okay. All right. Tonight, I've got a few subjects I want to be talking about. I'll get to those, and if anybody else has other questions and comments they want me to throw in my 2 cents worth, I can do that. And we've already got a thumbs up. Okay, there you go. I'm going to be drinking out of my plastic Budweiser cup here, sent to me by the Merton family a while back. Thank you to those. Right, today, as usual, I'm going to be drinking the vodka. Okay, I haven't got much to go, but luckily I've got a brand new bottle. $16.50 down at the co-op, which is at roughly the same price everywhere you go for the shop brand vodka. Anybody got any comments they want to put in or say hello? Because there you go. Oh, Lee Merton. There you go. I just mentioned you a moment ago. I don't know whether you saw. I'm drinking out of that cup you sent me a while back when I had a PO box. Yeah, making some good use. It was the Merton family. There you go. And I'm going to be mixing it with Diet Cloudy Lemonade. Now, I've seen this in the I've been drinking this recently. I put off drinking that because my local co-op never used to sell it. I'd have to go over to the next door housing estate to their co-op to better buy it. But now, my local one does. And it's my new favorite at the moment. Now and again I'll change it to lemonade, and then to Coke, and then to orange, depending on that. But at the moment, my new favorite. Okay, who we got? We got Tony Barnes. How are the chickens tonight? Yeah, the chickens are doing good. Go on to the anybody wants to see the chickens. I did an egg fried rice with bacon strips. I loaded that video about 45 minutes ago or so. In it, there's the link for the allotment. My allotment is the name on the playlist. Anybody want to see the chickens that produces the eggs for the recipes that I'll be doing nowadays? Have a look at that. My allotment on the playlist. Let's see. Bob Exter, 97. Hello to you. Lee Merton, it's been a while since you sent that. Yeah, hope you're okay. Yeah, I'm okay, and I'm making good use of this cup. I think it had a little strip in the bottom where you pull a bit of card and it makes a noise of some, I don't know what it was, some kind of music, I think. Yeah, it doesn't do that anymore. I think it batteries, but I'm still using the cup. Tony Barnes wishes he was a chicken. A lot more simple life. Yeah, actually, that's true. Animals do seem to get a whole, unless they're out in the wild, But if they're in domestic, not necessarily captivity, but in domestic life, like living in somebody's house, you're right, they do get a better life. They don't got much to worry about. They don't have to worry about predators, getting jumped by lions or anything else, or birds of prey. They get fed every day. Man, an easy life. Grumpy, he's changed the vowels for X's. Grumpy bastard. Love that shirt. Oh, thank you. Yeah, it's kind of soft material, It's it's kind of. I got this from the charity shop, like a lot of my shirts. I think it probably cost about £3 or so. Oh right, Lee Merton. It was a light. Okay. Yeah, actually, I think you're right. Well, I'm sure you're right. Yeah, I think I remember now. It was a flashing light. Yeah, I was probably thinking of something else with the music, but flashing light. Yeah, that's the trouble. I think when it gets washed a few times, and also you got to put the card in to stop the light. Stephen Kerr. I wish we lived in a world where chickens didn't have their motives questioned for crossing the road. Very interesting. Interesting comment there. Tony Barnes, you should make a cooking show using the fresh eggs, maybe a fancy omelette. Well, yeah, I mean, I used the eggs today because the camera, or at least I managed to log myself off fully. What it was, when you're watching the screen, you're watching videos, and then you've got when you're at home, and you've got the thumbnails. What happened was the screen, it moved over, so I had nothing on the right hand side of the screen, which is where all the icons are that I need to load videos. Anyway, so I tried to fix that, and then I managed to log myself out of the whole thing. So that buggered that up for a while. So I wasn't able to make any videos, which included the first lot of eggs that I got. Any changes or increasing size of the chickens? They're getting quite big now. Or any changes to the allotment? I missed all those. But today I did egg fried rice with about 5 of my chickens' eggs, along with some bacon strips. I loaded that must be an hour ago now. But maybe I'll do a fancy omelette, scrambled egg, something like that. If we're talking about this is Matthew Green. Thing is, I've got to get close to the screen. My eyes are getting worse, I'll tell you what. But the trouble is, if I put my glasses on, for close-up work, I have to take them off. Anyway, let's see, Matthew Green. If we're talking about self-defense and Rittenhouse, would you shoot someone if they came after your chickens? Do you have a right to defend the property like that? Actually, that's interesting. I mean, yeah, I don't know. I mean, assuming that we have the same gun laws as America and the same rights for self-defense, you can shoot somebody. The way I understand it, if they're threatening your life, the life of your family members, or your property. But I don't know how that entails property that isn't connected to your house. Say, for example, a car that's in the driveway of your house. I know, perhaps you can go out there and defend that. But if it's not connected to the property, like my allotment, interesting though, I mean, as for shooting somebody, yeah, but yeah, maybe I don't know, maybe not for a. Yeah, I'm not sure we get away with it, but it'd be interesting though. It'd be interesting. Yeah, to how far your property extends from your actual house. Although, having said that, I mean, I've been watching shows and crime shows and whatnot, so your car doesn't have to be actually at your house for you to defend it. I mean, you could be driving down the street and get carjacked, and you'd still be able to defend yourself. Mr. Deegan, hello to you. Yep, it's good to be back live. George C is in the house. I don't know whether you see that, George C, and everybody, but for me, it's George C with a spanner is written in blue. That's to indicate you're a moderator for everybody. So George C is in the house, keeping law and order. Evening, Mark, and the chat got an early start tomorrow. Oh, it was jumped. Got an early start tomorrow, so can't stay long, unfortunately. Oh, well, whatever you do, you can always catch it on the rerun and whatnot, Yeah, I don't know how long I'll be in myself. Tony Barnes, would you ever consider raising, dispatching, and cooking one of your chickens, or is that unimaginable to you? Well, I'm not sure I could kill one of the chickens. I mean, if it was badly injured, for example, if it managed to get injured, I mean, they're locked away in their cage, in their big caged area. But to say the worst come to the worst, and something got in and fucked it up, and he was alive but definitely foobarred, I mean, I could definitely, really quick. I just have to, I've got a fair idea how to break a chicken's neck, but just out of compassion, put it out of his misery. I don't know whether I could kill it for food. I mean, if the world went to shit like we did last year with the Chinese plague hit us, and things got worse than that, then yeah, I mean, if it means, but then it would be more sensible to eat the eggs rather than eat the chickens, killing the golden goose, as they say, But if it come down to it, yeah, I think, if it is that or starvation, or if you're on a desert island and, yeah, I could probably kill it, but not unless I needed to, although, actually, those who have been with the channel for a while will remember bloody fly. Godfried, he come down to the allotment last week, and he volunteered to murder one of the chickens if it come down to it. Apparently, he's done that before. He's got chickens in his homeland. But yeah, it'd be interesting though, because I mean, eventually, the thing is, they're only. Let's see, I got them June 1. Okay, that was, what was that? That's 5 months ago, and they were 2 months old when I got them, so that makes them 7 months old. I'll be able to keep them for a couple of years before they start their egg production drops. So I don't know. In a couple of years, when their egg, when it becomes, I don't know. You see, the thing is, I like having them as pets. It gives me a reason to leave the house. It gives me a hobby. The eggs are an extra bonus. I'm actually being able to sell a few at work, purely to subsidize the grain. I mean, I'm not making any money out of it. I just, I sell a few at work. Actually, first of all, I gave a whole bunches away to free ones. Now that's stopped. Nobody wants to buy them, but I'm selling a few. So that's so I'll sell a few boxes here and there. Subsidizes the grain. Eventually, the chickens will slow down, and then I'll see. I could murder the chickens, eat them, and then go for some new chickens, which the egg production will be. Back up to high again. Tony Barnes, do you ever wish you had a back garden so your chickens were outside and you could see them more? Yeah. Well, in the place years ago, I rented this place out, and I lived on the next door housing estate, and they had a big garden, and I had a bunch of chickens there. I'm trying to think. I had about eight to 10 bantams at one point, which, for those I've mentioned before, for those who don't know, bantams are like a fat pigeon in size. So they're like 1/3 the size of a regular chicken. Their eggs are 1/3 the size, so they eat 1/3 the food. So it's all good. And that was very handy, because I noticed when I had them in the garden, I was seeing them. Well, I like the chickens I got now every day, but I could spend more time in the garden, handling the chickens, sorting out their, patches of, dirt and vegetables and all this kind of stuff I was growing for them. Now that I've got the allotment, I have to make a special trip, which I do every day. But I spend between half an hour and 2 or 3 hours, depending on what I'm doing around there, and I let them free range. But because of that, it took them longer to get customized, to me. Because before, they wouldn't allow me to reach for them, but now I can, reach for them, pet them, pick them up, Anyway, but the thing is, okay, I'll do a quick check. That's Tony Barnes. Dr. Luther San is in the house. Dr. Luther San. He's eating a pot noodle. He prefers the egg fried rice I made earlier. Tony Barnes, that's right. Yeah, he come round here. He did some filming on his phone. He come around. That was him. He was eating a I don't know what it was. Was it a casserole? I think. Anyway, but yeah, he'll be coming over the allotment next week. Hopefully next week he's going to bring a few of his nephews or nieces or something, and they can feed the chickens. Brian Clifton. Yeah, well, the computer messed up. I managed to shut it down while I was trying to fix it. It's a big pain, but I'm back on action now. Back in action. What was this? Mad Maz 49? Well, did you hear Biden saying on the news that he is the best US president? Well, I tell you, I didn't, but I believe it's the kind of shit that would come out of that stupid old bastard's mouth. Ugh, the best president? No, not a hope. Worst president? Absolutely. I mean, it's only the last few years since you got Biden. Before him was Donald Trump. In my opinion, the best president for an age. Before him was the Bushes, who but it's only the last three presidents. Oh, and Barack Obama. It's only recently I've been following them. But anyway, yeah, the Biden, the big dumb shit, he's been throwing his 2 cents around regarding the Carl Rittenhouse court proceedings. For those who don't know, which everybody should really know, but those who don't know, over the last nine months or just under a year, there's when they were I still can't get that image out of that reporters. There was a reporter in the street standing in front of a burning building saying mostly peaceful protests. That they bring that up all the time. Anyway, there was like 100 days of burning cities down, burning police stations, courtrooms, shops, businesses. And Carl Rittenhouse, he went over to protect the city, to stop the fires, to scrub off graffiti and all that. And he was set upon by a rabid mob, all right? And this is the thing that amazes me. Okay, he was set upon, right? He was jumped. They tried to beat him to death with a fucking skateboard. I mean, who does that? You know, what kind of people who attends a riot on a skateboard? You know, as a mode of transportation. Mind you, I suppose it's you can't really get a bus because no buses are going into a riot. Taxis, forget about it. They're not driving into a riot. Take your own car. The asshole rioters will probably set fire to it as soon as you leave it. So that's out. Take your bike. Yeah, well, the thing is, it's difficult to throw bricks and stuff like, and when you've got to drag a push bike. But yeah, I suppose in thinking about it, skateboard, as ridiculous as it sounds, is probably your best road of transport because it's mobile. You pick it up. You get into a problem, you use it as a weapon. Anyway, but yeah, this kid Carl Rittenhouse, he went in to straighten the rioters out, put out some fires, protect the hometown of one of his parents, and he was set upon by a mob, and luckily he managed to kill two of them, winged the third, and that's the thing, and praise be the American judicial service or system. He was found not guilty on all counts. And I'll tell you what, it was touch and go as far as I could. Because on the one hand, you got all the evidence pointing to the fact that he was protecting himself. Of course he was. But then you never know, because look at what happened to that poor policeman. After that shit sandwich posing as a human being, George Floyd, managed to get himself dead. All right. He took enough drugs to drop a rhino, goes out, passes fake notes, gets himself arrested, and dies in the process, right? For no, in my opinion, no fault of the police officer. He was doing what he could to restrain this guy. And like I say, this fucking shithead, fucking George Floyd, went and drops dead. Now, they threw this police officer under the bus. They made an example out of him, but basically because they had to. Even the asshole juror, at least one of them said, well, they actually, after they threw him under the bus, put him in jail, in prison, one of the jurors came back and said, well, I wasn't really convinced he was guilty, but the thing is, I didn't want the city to burn. Because the BLM were threatening, let the policeman off and we're going to burn the city. And that's what they did. Oh, shit, we better fucking convict this guy. No matter what the evidence says in the contrary, we better throw this guy under the bus, put him in jail. We don't want the city to burn, and I don't want to get my house hosed as well. And for a while, I was thinking to myself, well, maybe this poor bastard Carl, Rittenhouse is going to get, thrown to the wolves because the BLM are out there again, troublemaking motherfuckers that they are. They're on the news saying how the judge is a racist with absolutely no evidence to say that. They reckon that this Rittenhouse is a white supremacist. He's got links with the skinheads, the KKK, and the all the rest of them. Which, I mean, the police have gone through his phone. They've found absolutely no evidence. Of course, being let off by a race, he's racist, and he gets white supremacist leniency, apparently, according to the BLM. But of course, they don't take into account that none of the people that he shot were black. So how the fuck did they manage to figure out that he did a racist act when he shot 3 white people? But they don't need to make any sense. All they're going to do is like, racist. And of course, that's all they need to say. I mean, honestly, I'm mystified how a white person can shoot 3 other white people, and they can blame it on white supremacy. How does that work? But they're out on the television screaming to the cameras, it's white supremacy and it's white privilege and all this other shit. Anyway, so I'm thinking perhaps they would have, buried this kid just to stop the rioting from happening, which is totally wrong. They did it to that poor police officer. I can't imagine why there were a single one police officer left. Because I'll tell you what, if that had happened to one of my friends, one of my colleagues, I would have handed him my badge, like a lot of them did. But the other police officers are thinking, well, wait a minute. This George Floyd guy, he was up to his ears high on whatever drug he was taking. I can't remember off the top of my head. He was taking enough drugs to drop a regular human. He managed to, his heart gave out while he was being restrained. They buried this guy under the prison. Every police officer should be thinking, well, wait a minute. Every time I arrest somebody, if this guy fucking dies for no other reason than he was taking a lethal amount of drugs, I'm going to be the one sharing a cell with him. They should have just gave up. Yeah, get the police numbers down to 0. See how that fucking how much the citizens like that. I mean, it's bad enough with the numbers dropping as they are. Crime is going through the roof. George Clifton, George Floyd committed suicide for the cloud. Yeah, well, I mean, the amount of drugs that they found in him. Yeah, I mean, it's a wonder the guy managed to stand up. So yeah, I'm glad that they let this Carl Rittenhouse, off all the charges, because I mean, even because all it takes is a couple of jurors to be, weak jurors to be shitting themselves and oh shit, well, I better cow down to the mob, otherwise they won't, they'll come after me. Fuck them, stand up and be counted, But yeah, I tell you, you should have seen. I saw the footage of this kid, as they were reading it. It's a bit like on a game show, So, and the winner of the competition is. And for a dramatic pause, they wait 10 seconds. Who the fuck's going to win? That's what it's like in the court. And they said, right, we, the jury, find Carl Rittenhouse not guilty. I think you could see the fucking kid. He was about to drop on the floor. I thought the guy was going to have he was holding his chin. Oh, fuck. I thought he was going to have a heart attack right there. He was fucking 18 years old and having a heart attack in the middle of the court. But can you imagine the anguish this kid's? I mean, it was like what, 9 months ago, But anyway, so he's been having this over him for like 9 months. But they good for them that they went on the side of righteousness, letting him off all counts. But you still got the BLM troublemakers out in the street. They're complaining. You've got the 100. Well, you got a few hundred National Guard, out in the streets. Just in case the trouble. Barlini young offenders. Anyway, hello to you. Yeah, I mean, so if there is any riots, what they need is the National Guard, who are out there patrolling the streets and keeping law and order, start wailing with those batons. It could, because at the moment, because everybody's seen the footage. The rioters go out, start burning. They don't like something. They threaten to burn the city if they don't get their way. Namely, that poor policeman who got thrown under the bus. If they don't get the way, they're going to burn the city. You go out there, start wailing with a baton, saying no. Just because you don't like what's going on, you don't get to burn the city. There are consequences to their actions, which at the moment there are very little consequences. But once they get the idea of consequences, then okay. All right, I'm going to address this. Rod, RHOD, Rod. No, I disagree. Yes, Floyd was high, but having a knee placed on his neck for suspected use of counterfeit money is outrageous, and the officers responsible should have been punished. Well, I disagree with your disagreement. He was he was high as a kite on a certain drug, which name escapes me. I mean, we're not talking a recreational amount. You're talking high amounts of this drug. He was acting. I mean, I saw you watched the video of the minutes proceeding when he got arrested. The guy was out of his mind. He was he was talking to the police officer. I can't breathe. I can't. He's in the car saying, I don't want to leave the car because I can't breathe. I can't breathe. He's managed to breathe enough to talk. Right. He was acting very unusually. He got out. He'd been arrested because he was passing counterfeit notes. He had to be restrained because he was being in a very confrontational and, well, perhaps agitated mood, shall we say. So you use the minimum force. I mean, what are you supposed to do? Shoot the guy? A bit excessive. Wail on him with your baton? Possibly excessive. So what you do is you restrain the person. All right, you put them on the floor, you restrain them from kicking and carrying on. You just, I mean, he's a big fucker, all right? He's, this George Floyd, he was no little 9-stone weakling. He's a big bastard, right? So you have to use a certain amount of force to restrain a guy who is unpredictable and high and, could lash out at any minute. Don't forget, this is a guy who held a pistol to a pregnant woman's stomach while his friends ransacked her house. This is a guy who you put on the floor to protect yourself. All right. He's a police officer. He probably ran his name, or at some point and found out what this person's record was about. So he knew that he was a violent felon who was prone to use handguns on defenseless, people in the process of ransacking and robbing their house. So yeah, you when you find a person like that you have to deal with, you put them on the ground as quickly and as painlessly and as effectively as you possibly can. You don't piss about. This guy is a threat. I mean, you hold a pistol on somebody while your fucking wanker friends hold up, running around the house looking for valuables. This is the kind of person who you put down and you restrain as quickly as it can because he is prone to violence. Now, the knee on the neck, that was just, in my opinion, that wasn't excessive. That was just a form, that was just a way of restraining the person. It wasn't like he was cutting off the guy's circulatory breathing. The fact that this guy's fucking heart gave out because of the amount of drugs is what done him in. Okay, and what happened was, somebody died in police custody. The mob immediately goes out before any kind of evidence has come in. Remember, they started burning buildings down. This is who's this to? Rod. There you go. I'm talking to this is addressing Rod's comment here. They started rioting before the what do they call that? A post-mortem, autopsy. Before that came out, they started burning shit down. So they weren't interested in finding the truth. So let's see. Rod, yes, I agree. If he had a marker on him for gun use, that would put the officers on edge. To be honest, I don't know about prior gun use, or didn't know about prior gun use. Oh yeah, the guy did 7 years for holding that gun to that fucking pregnant woman's stomach while his friends ran around the house looking for good shit to steal. He did 7 years for that. He comes out, he's high as a kite, he's passing counterfeit notes. Oh yeah, the guy was a fucking career scumbag. He's no fucking saint. And they've got statues of him. They got murals painted on walls. This guy's a fucking hero to some of these Looney Tunes out there. No, the guy was a born scumbag. He wasn't like an ordinary citizen like perhaps you and and I, walking down the street, got set upon by the police and ended up dying in the process. No, the guy was a born dirtbag. No, he was rotten through and through. Why he's been what's the word I'm looking for? The opposite to demonized. The guy's been made into a fucking saint almost, with statues, and which is good. I'm glad to see people throwing paint cans at statues and murals of this guy. I'm glad to see that happen. It makes my day when I see that. Because this guy doesn't deserve, and that's the thing. The mob, I can't think of the word. They make this guy out to be a saint for no good reason other than that he's black and we need a reason to go out and riot. And it's the same thing with this Carl Rittenhouse. The lawyers in the court case are making out these three scumbags that are set upon this kid were righteous, and they called them heroes at one point. That's how fucking loony this lawyer was. Remember, one of them who he shot and killed was a child rapist. Oh yeah, he got let out of a mental institution, immediately hopped on the bus toward the fucking riot, joined the riot, saw Carl Rittenhouse trying to put out fires and scrub off graffiti, set upon him, right? And then he was shot in the process. So he got a born rapist. So, fuck him. He's dead. Good. The world's a better place without him. Number two was another guy who was arrested and convicted for trying to strangle a woman. I don't know whether it was his wife or girlfriend or some fucker, but he tried to strangle to death some woman. So he got it. So there's another fucking sweetheart right there. The third one, I can't remember who the third one was, but then he had a fourth guy, the only black guy in this story. Of course, being that BLM painted him as and all the fucking shithead, all the low budget news outlets are painting him as a white supremacist. The only black guy tried to kick him in the fucking face, and he wasn't even, his name wasn't even brought up in court until after. So you got three white people, convicted child rapist, somebody tried to murder somebody by strangling them to death. I can't remember what the third one does. These people are being tried to be shown as heroes for attacking this kid. Rather, and it should be the other way around. He went to the town to try and put out fires and whatnot. So I'm glad. Oh, okay. I'm going to address this thing again. I'm glad he got let off. Now, Rod has another comment. My eyes are a little bit blurry. This neck in this vodka. Rod, there are better ways to restrain somebody. It's jumping. It was a mix of drug use and excessive force. Both parties are at fault, in my opinion. Yeah. Well, okay. You say it's excessive force, but remember, okay, you're a police officer. You're faced with a fucking huge black man. All right, the guy is well over 6 feet, 6'4". I mean, he was a big guy. I mean, I'm 17 stone, and he was way bigger than me. Okay, now because you've done a background check, he is a violent felon. He is prone to gun use. He's done prison time. He's high as a fucking kite because of the way he's behaving. And you have limited options. Like I say, like I just mentioned, you got your options. You can shooting him is not an option because he hasn't quite done anything. You know, you can't wayline him with a baton because he's so fucking high, he probably wouldn't feel it, and then you're going to, like grizzly bear, you're going to piss him off. You're waiting for backup, okay? And you can either ask him to submit to being arrested, which is unlikely. Okay, so now you have to restrain this person. You imagine, you can see what I look like. I don't know what you look like, Rod. But imagine if you're faced with somebody 6 or 8 inches taller. Whatever, I don't know where you're from. Maybe whether you want to use pounds, kilos, stones. He's got a considerable weight advantage on you, okay? And he is very reluctant to be arrested. What do? Okay, you need to drop him on the floor and restrain him. Okay, the knee on the neck, in my opinion, wasn't intentionally meant to kill him. I don't think that had very, 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 very little to do with his death. It was the amount of drugs putting a tremendous strain on the heart. Now, you take these considerations. Put yourself in that situation. You're faced with a guy who's 6-8 inches taller, very, very heavier than you are, and he is very reluctant to be arrested, and he will be almost impervious to pain, so you can't be really, because the amount of drugs. So you put these. Okay, Rod, there were 2 officers with batons. No, what are you saying? They shouldn't be wailing on him with a he had knee on the neck for a very long time. Oh, piss off! Listen, I'm done. Look. He didn't have he had a knee on the neck. It wasn't for an excessive amount of time. All right. You have a look at the there's footage out there. All right. There's footage of it. You'll see exactly how he was behaving. And, oh, my eyes. My eyes are blurry. Okay, so yeah, it wasn't an excessive amount of time. It wasn't an excessive amount of pressure. It was the excessive amount of drugs in this guy's system. Anyway, so yeah, look at the footage. It's out there on the out on the internet or even YouTube. You can watch the whole thing. Anyway, so yeah, so these in the Carl Rittenhouse case, they're if this court if this verdict had gone south, right, gone downhill for him, then you imagine, you see, because the Americans have the luxury that we don't of self-defense. Somebody attacks you in the street, somebody tries to attack you in your car, somebody breaks into your house, you have the right to protect yourself, and you can use deadly force if it calls for it. Of course, we don't have that luxury. We don't have that right, which is a bit of a shame for us. But if they had convicted this kid and said, no, you do not have the right to defend yourself, you imagine the ramifications for every single American out there. You know, some drug-crazed motherfucker like George Floyd, for example, as we're on his topic. Imagine he comes up to your car, wants to hijack your car with your baby in the back, wants to hold up the, you go into a little supermarket and some guy walks in there with a pistol, holds up the place, and you're in there and you're in the crossfire. Somebody breaks into your house. And and it turns out you no longer have the right to defend yourself, just like we do. Because if here in England, I'm not sure exactly the wording of the law, but the basic idea is that if somebody breaks into your house, you can only use reasonable force to protect yourself and your property to get the asshole out of your house. But the gray area is, what do you call reasonable force? They can't answer that. And yeah, I mean, there's been cases. I mean, there was a farmer. Maybe somebody can remind the viewers. Maybe What was I saying? Yeah. There was a farmer. There was 2 Korea fucking scumbags, right? They had rap sheets as long as your arm. They broke into his farm. He ended up shooting one of them dead. The other one got away, and of course he gets put in prison. The farmer. I believe, if somebody can correct me if I'm wrong, there was such an outcry. He got let out eventually, but yeah, he went to fucking prison for defending his property. Yeah, so the ramifications, if this kid got convicted, then everybody in America, any house that gets burglarized, any car that gets carjacked, anybody who gets attacked by a machete-wielding fucking lunatic in the street, you're done for. You can't protect yourself, you know. But luckily, they said to this, the verdict come back. No, he defended himself by a mob who were trying to. I mean, because out of the 3 scumbags, right? Well, I don't know whether it was the child rapist or the guy who tried to strangle somebody, or the third one, or the black guy that tried to kick him in the face. One of them tried to beat him with a skateboard. One of them tried to take his weapon, and another person tried to shoot him. Had a Glock pointed straight at him, telling him, "I'm going to kill you." Brian Clifton, what would you do if it happened to you? That sounds like a song lyric, isn't it? What would you do if it happened? Anyway, I don't know. What would you? Well, the thing is, I would probably end up. I mean, if I think, are you talking about Carl Rittenhouse? Or the shit sandwich George Floyd? I'm presuming you're talking about Rittenhouse. If I was Rittenhouse, yeah. And I was in the middle of it, I would probably feel pretty good about myself, but being able to shoot somebody to protect who were definitely out there to murder me in a rather gruesome and unpleasant manner, you know. Yeah, I'd feel good about. I'm glad he shot these people. I mean, given that look at the rap sheets of the people that he killed. All right, they weren't regular citizens. They weren't people walking down the street. One, they were rioters, causing untold amounts of. My eyes. Man, my eyes are gone blurry. All right, they weren't citizens. They were causing untold damage and fires and mayhem. Okay, 1, 2, child rapist, an attempted strangulation, murder of somebody else, and a guy who was prepared to beat you to death with his skateboard. These were not nice people, you know, and quite frankly, the world is a better place without them. So good on Carl Rittenhouse, and I hope he gets his life straightened out, because the amount of stress that poor kid must have been under. Okay. No, actually, okay. Be good soon. It could happen to you. Oh, actually, yeah. Well, yeah, actually, Roddy's back. About that lyric. Oh shit, where's he gone? What would you do if it happened to you? If you're young at heart. That's what it was. Yeah, that's how it is. Something like that. If it happened to you, if you're young at heart. Yeah, Rod says, Mark. Rod's back. Yeah, I just want to put it out there. I'm not against you, he says. Thank you very much. I'm just drunk, he says, and speaking my thoughts. Sorry. No, don't worry. I thank you for thank you, Rod, for contributing to the comments. It's just I get agitated sometimes when people don't. I appreciate your comment there. Thank you. But the thing is, I mean, it's like I've actually seen the footage of the minutes before. See, what happened was, for so long, all they did was show this guy with a policeman on him on the floor, with the knee line. All right, and it was after the coming weeks after, then we saw the 5 minutes before, and this George Floyd was acting irrationally. It was really obvious that this guy was a fucking problem, you know. Anyway. But thank you for your comment there, Rod. Oh yeah, but Brian Clifton, Mark's pissed. Actually, if you talk about the American pissed, a bit annoyed. Well, I'm just getting agitated because we're on an agitated subject. But pissed, it does in English. Yeah, I'm starting to feel the vodka. Yeah, my eyes. I have to get closer and closer to the screen to be able to read. And I can see little flashes. Oh, I don't know whether I'm having a fucking brain hemorrhage or something, but a tumor, as Arnold would say in Kindergarten Cop. It's not a tumor. Brian Clifton he's had too much voddies. Barry, it's my party, my Leslie Gore. You would cry too if it happened to you. Actually, I remember that song. It's my party and I'll cry if I want to. Rod says, name that song. Yeah, it's my. I don't know who sang it, but that was back in the 80s, I think. Rod and Mark, I'm the same. I'm not great at getting my point across. Well, the thing is, I mean, that's the thing. The vodka doesn't help. But Craig Hymus is in the house. Hello to you, Greg Hymus. Welcome. Rod the Knob, he says. No, Brian Clifton. Brian Clifton. Who's the guy Clifton who was the lounge singer? You know the man on the moon. Can't remember his name. Man on the Moon, done by Jim Carrey. He played a character whose alter ego was something Clifton. I can't think. Anyway, he says Britney Spears' dad should be the next president. Well, I tell you what, shit, fucking the family dog could do a better job as president than what Biden's doing. Mr. Turning Points. Mr. Turning Points, can I get a shout out, please, Mark? Well, no, you can't. Mr. Turning Points, absolutely not. Let's see, give a shout out to the old. Oh, there you go, Mr. Turning Points. Give a shout out to the Oil Road Crew. Oil Road Crew. That's interesting. Who? Oil Road Crew. Okay. Brian Clifton says, my wife said she wishes that Brian was more like me. Oh, that's quite a compliment. Thank you, wife, for that. Bernie Clifton. Barry says Bernie. Yeah, that's it. Bernie Clifton. Man. If anybody wants to watch a good comedy show, type in The Green Room. The Green Room. What it is, it's a club, okay, where I don't know what they do, they mill around. Anyway, they've got a circle of comedians around a table, and they're just drinking and shooting the shit, and they're really, really funny. And every now and again, Bernie Clifton is in the audience, and he'll start throwing in his 2 cents worth. And you've got comedians all talking. They're not so much doing they're not doing their act. Like you get a comedian on a TV show. Sometimes they're basically just doing their act. They're trying to, and then to bring it on the show. But no, these are just guys talking about their careers, talking about a whole lot of stuff. And they're quite funny. And Bernie Clifton is in the audience sometimes. And he gets thrown out on occasion. Bernie, The Green Room, if anybody wants to watch that. It's really good. Rod says, how is the allotment going? Yeah, I mean, I haven't done a whole hell of a lot of work on it recently because I've been working. And but I visit every day. I get some stuff sorted, let the chickens out, let them roam around, free ranging. The last video I did of the thing was at 7:20 in the morning before I go to work. I go there every morning, let them out, and I did a bit of filming. of them scratching around the the horse manure. Sounds a bit rough, but they like the horse manure. I guess they don't have any sense of smell or something. I don't know. Anyway, but if you get the rake and you scrape the top couple of inches of it, there's lots of worms in there. They roam around the leaves and the shredded what they call that, shredded wood. Because the council they put the trees and bushes through a shredder machine, then they bring all these shredded bark and wood. But yeah, I tell you, it's great, because the more free ranging they do, they eat grass, they eat plants, they eat the bugs, the worms, all that shit, and whatever they get free ranging means that their grain lasts longer. Mr. Turning Points, thanks, mate. They will be well happy when they see that. We quite often have your streams and videos on. Oh, he keeps jumping. Videos on in the van when we're scoping targets. That's a right laugh. Oh, scoping targets. I'm not sure what that means. But thank you for joining the show, and I'm sure I appreciate anybody wants to put a comment in. They get a shout out. That was Mr. Turning Points. Okay, Rod says, what do I do for work, if I don't mind me asking? No, it's like most of my jobs, except when I had my own business. But most of my jobs involve working in a warehouse. This is it's not too bad, it's I actually like the work, but being that see, that's the thing. I'm used to once I learn the job, that's the trouble, it's got its good and bad points. One, there's some lifting of machinery and whatnot, which is good. I like that. We're working on the guns, keeping fit. The training for the job was pretty not good. Okay, you go there and you're expected to basically fucking learn it. But I mean, that was told to me once. But look how when I stacked a pallet wrong, I said, well, look at the racks. Look at how everything else is stacked. Look at that. No, you got to be. So the training is very lax. I don't like the way I'm. The thing is, I'm used to being. Once I learn the job, I can be an asset to any place. But the trouble is, I need to be trained, and I need to be not to be fucked with all the time, and just be given a job. Let me, deal with it, which doesn't really happen at this place very often. You got the guy. Anyway, I don't want to go into that. It's. Barry says Tony Clifton on the Green Room. Yeah, the Green Room is such a funny. There wasn't a whole lot of shows though. That's the problem. It was a really good show because they didn't really cover any controversial topics like some shows or what I used to do on my live streams. But it was just a funny thing. Josh, hey Mark, haven't seen your lives in ages. No, well, I messed up the computer. I tried to fix a problem and then wiped the whole thing off. So I was without so I'm reading and trying to think. So I'm I managed to get it fixed last week, so I'm able to load the videos now. A lot of jobs have bad training. Yeah, Rod says a lot of training is not so good. Yeah, you see, the thing is, I've actually, the funny thing is, I've actually been in jobs, and I'll have been in a job for 2-3 weeks, and I'm the guy that they'll give the job of training the new guy. It's crazy, but I don't know whether they got faith in my abilities, but yeah, give me 2-3 weeks old, and they give me the job of training new guys. I've actually done that. I've actually trained people to do the job, and the way I see it, the way I train people, which is a line out of Philadelphia. You remember that one about Tom Hanks? He's the homo that's got himself AIDS. This was years ago, back in the 80s, I guess. And Denzel Washington is the lawyer. And Denzel Washington, as the lawyer, says to, he does it through the film. He says, explain it to me like I'm a 5-year-old. Okay. And then, he'll do different versions of that. Explain it to me like I'm 7 years old. Okay. Which is what I try and employ when I'm teaching somebody. I don't sort of assume that they're a fucking moron, like the present manager that I've got seems to have the opinion of. I will explain to somebody as if they're a 5-year-old, not in a condescending way or trying to assume that they're a moron. It's just that I will assume that they know nothing about what we do here. I've actually worked in loading bays. As amazing as it seemed to me at the time, I've met people who have never used a pallet truck. But for those who don't know, a pallet truck is a little trolley with 2 forks. You put under a pallet, you up and down with a handle. It lifts the forks 8 inches off the floor, and you wheel pallets around like that. I've met people who have never used those before, and it amazed me at the time because I thought everybody's used a pallet truck, because every place I've ever worked has pretty much had a pallet truck, and everybody knows how to use it. But when you're training people, you have to assume that they know nothing about how the racks work, how machineries work, how the paperwork works. So you treat them accordingly. You explain to them very, very simply, very straightforward. When I started this job, I actually had to explain to the kid that was teaching me. I said, look. Because what they would do, they would use 35 words to explain a very simple task. Take those pallets and move them over there. They fucking use 35 words to explain that. After he's explained it to me, I would say, right, so you want those 8 pallets moved under those racking over there. And I say to him, there you go, 12 words, not 35 words like you'd... overcomplicating things, just make it very simple. And I don't know how. So that's why I was having difficulties at the very beginning of starting this job, because that's how they train people. They would use fucking 5 minutes of explanation when 12 words will do. And anyway, but yeah, if I could just be allowed to learn the job, I consider myself an asset to any company. That and then I can just be left to do it. But when you like at this job, you've got this guy up your ass. He's all the time. This is how you peel a label off a box, and this is how you sellotape a box down. Fuck off, it's because they don't spend the time training you, and if they don't train you at the beginning, then the days and weeks and months go by, and you're still clueless about how things happen because you haven't been trained. You have to, and it takes ages if you have to learn it as you go along. And then you've got this other person who's in charge of a different, the shipping, I guess, desk. You go to her with a problem. She doesn't want to hear it because she's already explained it to you once. So fuck off. That's what that's what she mentioned the other day. What are you doing here? I've explained it anyway. So anyway, that's enough of my problems. Barry, let's see. Oh, I see. Oh, Josh says just a heads up. It's Kyle. Okay, right. Thank you. Have I've been saying Carl? All right. Yeah, Kyle. Actually, I'll correct my. I think I probably knew that as well. It's just that I put Carl because I know 2 Carls. Anyway, Barry, do you ever get a tickle at work? Maybe a broken, bashed box of tins of conference pears or something you can take home. No, I don't work in the supermarket warehouse. I work in this other warehouse with, machines. The machines come in, we log it, we bring them in, we assemble them on pallets, we store them up in the racking, and eventually customers buy, buy them by the pallet load. And we send them out to Krakow in Poland, send them off to Hong Kong, Germany, Birmingham, so it's not all, abroad and at home. Rod says, what was the business you have? Well, I had a video rental store. I had that for a few years till it was set on fire. Rod says, I think it's your accent, maybe. Yeah, it could be. Where are you from then, Rod? Are you from? I'm guessing you're not from. Well, you might be from England because we different accents here. Yeah, set on fire. How did somebody put some burning newspapers through the letterbox, and set it on fire. Bit of a bastard, really. That's the thing. You just some people just gotta, they gotta fuck it up for people. I was trying to make a living, because the first year was basically paying back the loan I took out to buy the business, and I fucking broke my ass trying to make the business to help the community. It wasn't just a video rental. I petitioned to the gas, the electric people. I wrote dozens of letters. I swear to Christ, I was sending a letter to the electric people saying I want an electric, gas, and electric machine. For people who have meters and mobile phones. You do the mobile phone pay as you go top ups, right? Because the nearest place was like a 25-minute walk, which is no fun in the rain or the dark, right? So 25-minute walk. So and I was writing letters to them, and I was actually writing another letter before the first rejection letter came back. I sent dozens of letters, and in the end, they got sick of writing to them, so they gave me a machine to help the community, and this is how they got paid back. They set fire to the place. Yeah, so now it's been a hairdresser's, Rod is from Cardiff. There you go. Actually, I wouldn't have thought I had too much of an accent then. Anyway, but I'm all the way up here in Milton Keynes. Well, I'll say up. I don't know where Cardiff is in relation to Milton Keynes, but I'm about 50 miles above London on the map. Barlini Young Offenders, probably a Scottish person. They love making fires. Yeah, it's 10 points. It was a 25-minute walk. Yeah, that's the thing. I did all these things to, for the community. Barlini Young Offenders, did you have multiple copies of Nico for rent or Universal Soldier? I think I had both of those. Henry Crypto. Hi, Mark. Great, you're live. Do you remember the Sims Insider? And are you getting a new mailbox? Sims Insider. Yeah, that sounds familiar. And a new mailbox. I don't know. You know, I mean, last time I had one, I had it for 3 months. It did very well. People were sending their mail on the because I had I was promoting the use of the cutting the cardboard postcard out of a cereal box, dog biscuit box, Mr. Kipling's pie box. Anyway, or basically a piece of cardboard, and posting it off as a postcard. Yeah, but the thing is, I mean, it's like £25 a month, which I had it for 3 months. That's 75 quid. Yeah, mind you, I mean, if I can get a discount, if I can get one with a discount, then maybe I might investigate it. Actually, I'll go in. I don't want to pay full price, but I mean, if I go in and say, look, how about you do me a deal on a PO box? I mean, because I mean, they'll get a little bit of rental. I get a discount, and I give them give the business a shout out every time. Yeah. So I could go see him. Yeah, Rod has never been to Milton Keynes, but he knows where it is. Yeah, we're famous for the concrete cows. In fact, when I had the shop, I remember I had some Americans come in and they say, "Look, somebody's probably winding me up, right? But do you actually, they mentioned concrete cows. Oh, concrete cows, yeah. Listen, they're just about 2 miles straight down the road. But yeah, they thought they had been made fun of, and somebody told them about the concrete cows. Uh, ah, Bernlini, Barlini, young offenders. I used to love getting free posters from the video shop. I say free. I had to give old Alan a handy for them. Yeah, I used to try and give away, the posters. The what they call the standees, they're called as well. Those cardboard promotional. They're like three-dimensional. The little things flap out and they're freestanding. Just to give them away. Anyway, okay. Well, nobody's coming in with any questions at the moment. Oh, okay. Mr. Turning Points, what do you think of internet pornography? Uh, well, yeah. Well, it's got its good and bad points, I think. Yeah. We'll just say it's got its good and bad points. It's probably bad for underage people to probably have access to it. Cardboard, yeah. Rod says cardboard cutout. Yeah. They were called standees, though. They're a cardboard, flat piece of cardboard with a promotional of the film, and then then the flaps at the back, they'll all be flat. You pop them out, fold them in, a bit like like you do with a pizza box. You ever see them assemble a pizza box? It's just like that. Get flaps come out, you twist it, fold it back in. Ugh. Mad Maz, have you seen the Martin Luther King movie? Nah, I probably doesn't sound like my cup of tea. Martin Luther King movie? Nah, not my. Oh. Nah. I mean, I'll watch films with black people in it, but I mean, I don't want to see black history movies. It's not my cup of cha. Ah, John D, have you seen Squid Game? Well, actually, there's a few there's a few videos that I like to watch. They're entitled "How You Would Beat the Squid Game, Hunger Games, how you wouldn't win," and basically they analyze these films of like somebody, car breaks down in the woods, you're being tracked by a psychopathic, or Squid Games, or one of these ones where you've been rendered unconscious and you wake up and there's 15 people in the room with all the explosive collars around their neck and all this kind of shit, and the last one to survive gets to live. This video channel goes into, and it shows how you would win the Squid Game. I've never heard of it, but apparently it's an ongoing series on Netflix. I just thought it was a one-off movie, but apparently it's an ongoing thing. It looks pretty good, but it's based on Chinese games that we've never heard of. Henry Crypto, what's the plan now for the channel? How are the chickens, and when more food reviews? Well, yeah, all right. Well, the thing is, I had a few months break because the channel got messed up and got shut down, and I managed to bugger that up. I finally got it fixed. I've done one video on. This is my second live since I'm back. I've done one video at the allotment, and I've done one cookery video. So yeah, there'll be more to come. The allotment videos, they're not very popular. I thought they'd be quite popular amongst the regulars, to see something that's going on in my life, and something that I'm interested in. And who doesn't like watching chickens scratch around in the long grass? But apparently not many people do like chickens running around. They're not popular, but I do them, for my own amusement. There'll be more cookery videos. There'll be more food reviews, But the thing is, because I had such a long break, I'm having to find myself, having to get back into the rhythm, And also, what makes it slightly more difficult is, I explained it on the egg fried rice with bacon video. When I have the camera, my video camera, when I'm doing a cookery, say, review or cookery video, when I have the camera pointed at me, I have the viewfinder turned. So then, just like I'm looking at myself, I can see myself on the screen here. I can position myself. I can make sure that something is in view. I think, right, there you go. This is the jar of stuff that I'll be using. I can make sure it's in view because the viewfinder is facing me. Now, because that's buggered, fuck knows what's going on there, I can't turn the viewfinder toward me so I can see myself, as I'm filming. I have to have it face the other way. Otherwise, the viewfinder just turns itself off. I'm gonna have to figure out how to get a mirror behind the camera so I can see in the mirror the reverse angle of the viewfinder. Anyway, so that makes it difficult. So basically, I have to go behind the camera, face the camera towards where I'll be standing, come round, and pretty much try and make sure that I'm in frame, which is fairly easy to do. But if I have to bring something toward the camera like this, so you can see, like really close, that makes it difficult because I can't see what I'm holding towards the camera. I can't see if it's in focus. So it could be over here, it could be out of shot. Anyway, but yeah, because I've had such a long break, it's taken a few videos to get back into the swing of it. I'm still very comfortable in front of the camera. It's just because I've been out of it for a while. It's just taking some, getting used to it again. I'm bloody starving. Shit. Barlini young offenders. Ever thought about calling out Tyson Fury for a charity boxing fight? What do you mean, like me? No, I'm not. Mr. Turning Points. They're Korean games. Oh, okay. And we've heard of most of them. Oh, well, actually, I watched I watched a bunch of them. And I've never heard of any. Well, I mean, I've heard a couple of them. Thing is, I'm 51 years old. I mean, one or two of them. When you're walking to, you got somebody with a back turned. You walk towards them, and they spin around and try and catch somebody as they're moving. That I've heard of. The one where they've got some honeycomb square with a pattern on it, and you've got to try and get the pin to cut out the. I've never heard of that. Dave. Okay, Mr. Oh, there you go. Actually, I'm going to read this one out. Mr. Sad is the name. Mr. Sad says, or writes, "Hi, Mark. I'm a professional snowflake, and although I like your food reviews, I am personally offended by the presence of Old Boggy on your channel. What can you do to help me?" I could press the button to bar you from the channel if that would help you get over your anguish at Old Boggy, because it would seem that you don't want to not watch the channel. So that's all I could do. I could do it for you, but besides, I mean, you're offended by the presence of Old Boggy. Does that mean you're not a fan of Halloween? Yeah, it only comes around once a year. I mean, there's honestly, it's just for a couple of days, once a year. You should be able to handle that. It's easy enough. Yeah, Old Boggy, by the way. Yeah, there was because for those who haven't seen it, if you go in, watch my live streams. There's some thumbnails where for Halloween I painted painted my face black for Halloween to celebrate Halloween and to as a tribute to Jeeves and Wooster TV show where they had a character or several, a theme of it of Old Boggy. Some demons that come out and run around town wreaking havoc. But yeah, there you go, Mr. Sad. Either climb under your bed for a day at Halloween so you won't have to watch any videos, or just don't watch my videos where I'm dressed up as Old Boggy. Besides, League of Gentlemen, there's another one. Now, that was a really funny show. What's his name? Yeah, and it was also to celebrate League of Gentlemen, Papa Lazu. There you go, another great character. Yeah, nobody loses their mind over that. Nobody loses their mind over Papa Lazu, but they don't seem to like Old Boggy for some reason. But I'm because my channel was down this time round. I wasn't able to bring Old Boggy back for Halloween. That's just gone. But next year, I'm sure I'll bring old Boggy back. Okay, anybody? In actual fact, anybody let me know how many thumbs up. If anybody who hasn't done it yet, by all means, hit the thumbs up. It'll help the algorithm, I'm sure. Anybody tell me how many thumbs up and how many thumbs down of somebody just hit number 13 there. Thank you very much, whoever that was. Can anybody tell me, because it doesn't give me all the information on here. Only 14. Thank you, whoever that was, number 14. Yeah, how many down, how many up? 15. They're coming in thick and fast now. Thank you, whoever number 15 was. 16. Oh, Jesus, 16. 16, thank you very much, number 16. Rod says he sees 14-0. Must be a bit of a delay. There you go. Yeah. Rod says 16. Yep, 16 thumbs up. 0 thumbs down, Michelle. It's doing pretty good. All right, anybody got any questions? Oh, fuck. Oh. I am drunk, tired, and starving. Barry, 16 thumbs up. Gosh, that would be so. Yeah, it would be so. I might. I've got some. I had a load of bacon earlier. What I did after that bacon egg stir fry thing, I cooked up the rest of the bacon. Probably it's not usually a good idea to eat bacon on its own. You get it right first. Oh fuck! And I might put in a pucker pie. I've got a couple of pucker pies in the freezer. Henry Crypto, what's dinner after the show? That's interesting. Exactly as I was saying now. Yeah, a couple of pucker pies. I think they're easy enough to make. I do like a good. The trouble with pucker pies is there's a lot of pastry on there. Anyway, I could do a review on the pucker pie. I should, I could do that in my drunken state. I'm not sure that'd be such a hot idea though. But yeah, could do it. Dinner, Rod says that I'm a likable guy and he enjoys listening. Thank you very much. That's the funny thing, on that subject. I'm going to have another bit of vodka. I'm going to see how much I'm going to drink of this. That's the thing, it's crazy because I've been doing this for 4 years now. And I've got to be honest. I've said this before a long time ago. Because people say they like the channel, they like what I say, how I say it, and my points of view. I honestly don't know what people see in it. I mean, admittedly, I can appreciate that people like a straight talking person that I normally am. I don't usually beat around the bush. I've got my strong opinions on lots of different subjects, which a lot of people know about already. I tell you, well, that's the thing. If I knew what people like about the show, I'd probably do more of it. But no, I'm glad that people like it. It's just that, you see, because the thing is, I'm looking at it from my point of view, and I'm thinking, well, I'm sitting in front of a camera here, talking shit for a couple of hours on subjects that, some people like, a lot of people get annoyed at. But no, I'm glad that, where's he gone? I'm glad you find what I'm saying enjoyable. But yeah, but because I cover a wide variety, because I'll talk about anything, ranging from what we're talking about today, the the George Floyd rot in hell, Kyle Rittenhouse, the court proceedings, self-defense, space aliens, the government, the queers, the trannies, the deviants, the lottery, any subjects at all. I've got an opinion on everything, so I cover all the bases. Let's see. Come here. Rod says, "Yeah, do it. Commit to your thoughts. Indeed. Yeah. Well, yeah. I mean, I have comments on pretty much everything. I really don't like. Well, you know what I don't like when you say to somebody, blah blah blah. What's your opinion? They're like, listen, I've had this. I don't have an opinion. You know, yeah, what they're basically saying, you know, they're too fucking scared to voice their opinion. I don't like that. No, I've got an opinion. I mean, but I mean, don't get me wrong. I mean, sometimes I'm able to, in real life, you know, sometimes I'm able to censor myself thinking, you know, I'm thinking, you know, I'm able to have the thought of, shit, if I say this, it's going to cause a riot or it's going to cause more problems than, you know, this isn't the time to be sharing my thoughts kind of thing. You know, I'm able to do that sometimes. But for the most part, you know, I don't not say something because I'm scared of the, you know, somebody not liking me or liking the opinion. You know, if I don't like the, you know, certain types of people, I'll, you know, sometimes say it unless it's not in a, not, you know, bloody hell, the vodka's really okay. Oh, Quincy 111. Hey, Mark. Has anybody mistaken you? Oh, fuck me, yeah. Has anybody, yeah, what age is it? Well, you know what it is? You know what it is? I only ever get those remarks when I haven't shaved for a while. When I'm shaved, nobody ever says that. But when I don't shave, like now, you see what I'm doing now, you know, because what I used to do was to let it grow for a while. And then, of course, I get the hair trimmers, take the guard off, and then shave. I don't like a wet shave. Although there is a, you know, to type in Mark's Remarks shave, I've actually done a tutorial on how to wet shave. It's quite popular, actually. You know. Anyway, but I don't like to wet shave. So what I do, I take the guard off the hair trimmers and shave with that, and it leaves a little bit of stubble. Recently, because it's been a bit cold out, I've put the very smallest guard on that and gone around, so it keeps a fairly, you know, keeps a week's worth of stubble on there. And that is when people start suggesting to me that I look like Ricky Gervais. Rod says, I'll be honest, you're a normal, straight-talking guy with an added pitch of not. Well, wait a minute, it's going to say added pinch of. Oh Jesus, I'm not actually sure if is that it's probably spelled correctly. I'm not reading it. Can you write a quick what that word means? Because I probably do. I'm sure I know what that word means. It's just I haven't seen it written. Anxiousness, anxiousness. I don't know. Can you? Oh Jesus! Come on, Mad Maz. What's your thoughts on the transgenders? Oh shit. Well, I'm not a fan. I very occasionally I've actually seen them in the street, and you know what I do? I look, and I just keep on moving because I don't want to be. It makes me uncomfortable being around those people. You know, it's, you know. It does, you know, it does. It makes me, yeah. I mean, you know, there are certain types where, you know, I feel anxious around, and yeah, they make me cross dressers, transsexuals. You know, I'm not comfortable being around them, and sometimes it's because the thing is, as there was a guy in the Subway sandwich place a couple of years back. It was quite obvious it was a guy who looked like he was growing some tits, you know, looked like a B cup or something, you know. and the long hair. It looked like a guy with very small tits, and yeah, as convincing as they think they are. You see, the thing is, the human eye is very, very. You're able to, because like it's like I heard a policeman say once. You're trained to look at something that is out of place. You're walking around the street, something that doesn't fit, or a person's behavior. I've actually seen shoplifters. I've known they're going to shoplift minutes before I've seen them walking out the door. I've seen people walk out the door with stuff. And I've known they were going to shoplift just by looking at them, looking at their demeanor, their body language. And as convincing as these people seem to think that they are, because they seem to they figure they're able to walk around in public, and you can tell there is something off. There is something not right about, because you can tell the difference between a male face and a female face. A bit like looking at dogs. Most of the time, you can tell a male face from not all in all cases with dogs, but you can tell a male dog face from a female dog face. They just look different. And when you've got a male face trying to pass as a female, there's something about the features. There's something wrong. Just because you slap on a bit of pancake and grow your hair long. I was in. Oh my God! I was in the CEX shop. Where I go to buy secondhand DVDs now and again, a few games. I was in there. Oh God! I had to bite my tongue. There was a girl. She walked in, and she was with there were a couple of teenagers, right? They had to be like 16, 17. One of them, obviously a girl, and she was, conducted. The person she was with was obviously male. Oh my God. Sort of short to longish hair, like trying to grow the hair out, sort of looking a bit feminine. Had a face mask on to try and hide the features. Had fucking a mini skirt on, and it was obvious it was a boy in a fucking mini skirt with and a girl's top. Oh my God. They were walking around the racks, and when they come around to where I fucking moved around to the next rack. It's the only way I could stop myself from fucking saying something to this freak show, because once I get going, I knew it was going to end up in trouble, and I ended up getting barred or arrested or fucking. So I just had to move, just fucking get onto the next rack. But it was disturbing to me because it was obvious that this was a boy trying to dress as a girl with the boots, the mini skirt, and oh God, it makes me fucking sick just talking about it. But no, I had to get away. I had to just get away because I'm going to get myself into trouble if I fucking, because I have arguments with people every time I go in there, pretty much. It's about, especially when they were giving you shit about wearing masks, right? You as the customer had to wear a mask, but some of the freak shows they have behind the counters, one with the green hair and the orange hair and the tattoos all over the neck and piercings up the nose, they don't have to wear masks because they're exempt, air quotes. They're exempt, but me on my side, even though they got this big plastic screen, separating, so every time, I go in there quite often, I have arguments all over the place. I go on the bus, I go into shops, I go into takeaways, and people getting on my case all the time. Anyway, so that's all I could do to stop myself from, causing a confrontation with his. Yeah, Rod, I enjoy you partly because I wish I could express my thoughts as honestly and eloquently as you. Thank you very much. Rod says, yes, correct. Something spelt it wrong. That might have been it. Yeah. I managed to work it. Where's it gone? I thought, anxious. Yeah, that's what it added, a picture of anxious. It might be anxiousness. Yeah, I managed to work it out from the Anne and the Ness on the end. I think if that's the word, anxiousness, it could be. Yeah, I do get pretty. Well, I get agitated when I'm talking on certain subjects. Mark Turning Points, Mr. Turning Points, have you ever played through the entire Dark Souls series in one sitting? What? What is that? A PS3 game? I have no idea what Dark Souls. No. I mean, I play the PS3. I play the snooker, which I've got up there. In fact, this is what I'm playing. I like to play this. As you can see, it's World Championship Snooker 09. So I mean, it's fairly old. I'm number 2 in the world, behind Ronnie the Rocket O'Sullivan. But I play it now and again. And aside from that, what else do I play? Not a minute. I don't really. I've got a whole bunch of games up there. The trouble is with these these games, you buy them, they turn out to be shit. And you buy them cheap from the second-hand place, but if you take them back, they give you fuck all for them. So I end up keeping them. Maybe I'll if I can find somebody who wants to trade with them, then great. Barlini Young Offenders got banned from Aldi a few months ago for having a meltdown. I wore a mask now, and none of them recognized me. Yeah, that's good. But Young Offenders, I've got 2007 in the PSP. It's brilliant. Yeah, I'm playing the 09. I actually bought the updated version. I can't remember what year it was, but I didn't like the way the functions and the buttons were. I figure stick with that one. I like that. It's good. Yeah. Yeah, that's a good about. See, that's the good thing about the Chinese plague is to make everybody wear masks. Not so much anymore nowadays. At one point, you couldn't get on the bus without a mask. Now, yeah, they don't care. But yeah, you can go in, cause as much trouble as you like. Just wear a mask; they won't recognize you. See? Henry Crypto, can we see your game collection and snooker? All right. Okay. I'll tell you what. I'll just grab my PS3. Oh, fucking knees. Jesus. Cool. There you go. I've got some PS2 games as well. These are my 3. And yeah, where's he gone? Oh, here he is. Yeah, you've seen the snooker. There you go. That's the. Now, see, a lot of these games, you take them home, you play them. You can't really get into them. Star Wars. You see, what I did a trade with my brother. There's another Star Trek. He bought himself a PS5. Yeah, so he bought a lot of these games, and then I traded these games off him for some films, and yeah, this was one I couldn't get into. You got to ride a horse around town. The shooting, the targets. I just couldn't. Yeah. So anyway, I took his PS3 games in exchange for a bunch of movies, and Now, does anybody really want to see this? Actually, this is an interesting one. This is there's like 2 or 3 of these. Now, what it is, if some of you might remember, I remember when I was a lad, there used to be a certain types of books. It was like you'd be reading the book, and then you've got an option. Do you want to take there's a fork in the road? Do you want to go left? Skip to page 56. Do you want to go right? Skip to page 72. So if you go, so you skip to that page, and then you carry on the story. And then later on, you would come across a stranger. Say, for example, do you kill the stranger, or go to page 13? Do you team up with a stranger and carry on? Be friends with a stranger. Go to page 82. That's that's how this works. It gives you multiple. It will do a scenario, and it will give you multiple choices. And each choice that you make determines the following chapters. So basically, it's like you directing a movie. Like, for example, this black guy here, he's the lead hero here. He's the guy. He goes into a house. He kills a couple of zombies. He meets this girl at the start of the thing. Now, choices. What do? Do you leave the girl to fend for herself? She's probably going to end up getting killed. Do you take her with you? And all. So and whichever choice you make progresses the story. And it's quite interesting. All right, so we got Battlefield. Yeah, got this one. Yep. Oh, Henry Crypto, great collection of games. He says, thanks for sharing. Oh, sure. Yeah. If anybody wants to have a look, be great. What's this? Angry Birds. Yeah, I paid a tenner for that. I really wanted this. That's why I paid a tenner. Normally, I wouldn't pay for pay a tenner. But yeah, that one I've played a bunch. But the thing is, the rest of these, you play them, and sometimes I'll buy it because it's like £1.50, and you play them, you just can't get into it. It's a theme that a lot of them are. I like the shooting games. One where you're the soldier or something. Killzone 2, Killzone 1 was pretty good, I think. There you go. Yeah, they all seem to be shooting games. Oh, this one was you got to you're a fighter pilot, and it's like really not easy. What's this one? Oh yeah, Dead Island. Yeah, this one wasn't easy. You got to fight off zombies all over the bloody. There you go. Yeah, so some of these, because actually some of these I bought, and some of these I inherited from Carl when he traded up for his PS5. There you go. And these ones I don't like playing. I think I bought this because it was dirt cheap, but no, I don't like playing the fighting games. There you go. I've got 2 of these for some reason. I remember this one. What's it called? Modern Warfare 2. There was such a ding dong about. There's a certain scene where you walk into the airport with a whole bunch, about 4 or 5 terrorists, right? And what they do, they start mowing people down in the airport, and you can either just follow along and not shoot anybody, or you can shoot, pedestrian, people at the airport. You can either, Barlini young offenders. Mr. Turning Points. Yeah, you have to take her with you. Yeah, well, that's the thing. Yeah, I mean, the thing is, you got the option to not or take her with you. And later on, you've got, there's later on you meet up with a family at at a barn. You're around them for a while, and then some zombies break in. You've got the choice: save the boy or save the girl, one or the other. So these different choices. Anyway, so yeah, it's pretty good. Well, I'm gonna put these away real quick. Oh. Okay. Yeah, so it's interesting. So I might get that. I might give that another go, because I've done a whole bunch of scenes in there, and Jesus, Mr. Turning Point, were you ever into body popping? No, I mean, I was a teen when that came out. When I was at school, I was never into body popping. Peter B. Call of Duty 2, best out of all the series. Yeah, there's very few shooting, these army shooting up ones that I've actually completed. There's one, it's called Black, but that's on PS2. Yeah, the good thing was that with the Black on the PS2 was because I had to get somebody in to do the last thing for me. And once you complete it, you can go back and have unlimited ammo, so you can just go in and shoot the shit out of it. You haven't got to worry about hunting for ammo and whatnot. Mr. Turning Points, do you ever play online? I have done. Yeah, I have done, but that was years and years ago. That was interesting. See, the trouble with that is you got some assholes. When you're like you're online with everybody on the planet, right? And say you've got a big wilderness, all right? You've got mountains, you've got a few buildings to hide in, you've got a crash plane over here where you can hide it. What happens when you get killed? What you do, you respawn in another part of the map. But trouble is, you got certain people who know all the spawning points where you get regenerated in a different part of the map. So what they do, they just stand there. So when somebody gets respawned, bang, as soon as they arrive, bang, they get killed. Then they get respawned somewhere else, and there's somebody else waiting there. So you can actually get killed, 30 times in 5 minutes, because you get spawned in different areas of the map and there's somebody waiting there. It's a pain in the ass. Jesus. Barry, did you ever sniff glue back in the 80s? No, but I visited somewhere where there was this guy who was sniffing glue. I had this friend called Wayne, and his sister was dating this glue sniffing fucking lunatic. So Wayne and I, we went round to visit, just hang out, and oh my God, we went round to his flat. As soon as you opened the door, the air was thick with the smell of, I mean, you could fucking chop your way through. The air was thick with this glue. And we went in, and of course he's in his front room, and he's got this bag. What they do, they get a plastic bag, sandwich bag, or carrier bag. Anyway, and what they do, they get this like glue. It's like the glue they used to glue down carpet tiles. It's like thick, big tub of it, right? To pour that in, and you inhale it. Oh, anyway, this guy, fuck me. We walk in, we gotta chop your way through the thick air of this place, and this guy was out of it. I mean, I've actually spoken about this. So I'm reading while I'm. Yeah, this guy was so out of it. I swear to Christ. I joke, I've talked to people about this particular story, and I swear, if the room was on fire, he wouldn't be able to comprehend the fact that the room's on fire and needs to get out. He was the guy could barely, stand, talk, function. I mean, everything was like totally, the guy was a mess. But yeah, if the house is on fire, he probably wouldn't have the wherewithal to get up off the couch and get out. He was that out of it. Anyway, all right. Look, yeah. Listen, if nobody's got any questions, people asking me about what's this? Yeah, well, the thing is, I mean, I was about 16 at the time. I mean, I wouldn't go into somebody's house with a sniffing glue now. Not the kind of Mr. Turning Points, Mark. This has been a great and informative one as usual. Oh, thank you very much. Do I watch Cobra Kai? That was the mini series that was that they brought out as a follow-on to the Karate Kid, I believe. No, I haven't. I wasn't a big fan of the Karate Kid movies, and I don't have Netflix or cable or any of that stuff. Oh, I'll tell you what I do have. I do have another letter from the television license people. Oh, no, this isn't it. This is it. I've got a letter. It's addressed to the legal occupier. So that goes to show they haven't got a clue who I am. Yeah, it's got a little calendar here of November and December, with the 1st of December has been circled. Big letters. We're giving you 10 days to get correctly licensed. That's in big bold letters. Dear Sir, Madam, there is no record of a TV license at this address. That's because I don't have a working television, but this means you are breaking the law if you are watching or recording live TV programs on any channel. Considering that your license only covers BBC One and Two anyway, but apparently if you're watching any channels, they'll demand your money, motherfuckers. Or downloading or watching BBC programs on iPlayer or any device. In big bold letters, we will not visit you for 10 days, but you must get correctly licensed. Full stop. Then back in regular case, we know how difficult it is to pay bills at the moment. That's why we're giving you until the 1st of December to get correctly licensed. Our investigation of your address has been put. Our investigation of your address has been put on hold, and we, bold, will not, then back to normal, send an enforcement officer to your address and during this time. Blah, blah, blah. Call us. You can spread the cost over. No, actually, have a look at this. One of our specialist advisors will help you check assuming I want to ring this number. If you need a TV license, if you do, you'll help find the best way to spread the cost. For example, payment card lets you pay from £6 a week at any pay point. You can also pay to buy direct debit or apply for a free license if you are over. Oh, you can apply for a free license if you're over 75 years old. I thought they scrapped that. I thought they scrapped that years ago. Because I remember they used to, if you were blind, they used to give it to you at half price. Generous motherfuckers they are. But I thought that if, because it used to be, if you're over a certain age, 70, I guess 75, actually, my mum should be eligible soon in just a few years. She's like, I don't know, she's 70 something. She got because I'm 51, so that makes her about 70 something. So if you're 75 or over, you get a free TV license, apparently. Yeah, I thought years ago they scrapped that. So anyway, the same old shit. They've sent me 12 of these letters already. Threatening, we're going to send an enforcement officer around to your address. You're breaking the law if you're watching the TV. Thing is, I don't have a working television. I just watch DVDs or play games occasionally on the PS3. I don't even have a DVD player. I watch it do on them. But I figure, why pay for a DVD player and a PS3 when the PS3 will do it all? TV shows and news I get from YouTube. I watch. Actually, you know the thing. I don't even have much of a clue what's going on in England anymore. It's it's too. The American news is much more interesting. The way the Americans, the country's sinking into the ocean with the fucking doomsday scenario going on since Biden got in. But no, it's yeah. I don't have a license, and I've never committed. I've never signed a document to say that I will accept your license in exchange for money. Why should I have to prove? They should prove to me that I'm watching it without a license. I don't. I don't see why I should prove that I'm not doing something. Fuck them. And they're not coming in the house, so we're at a stalemate. They're assuming that, well, they're telling me that I'm breaking the law if I'm watching the TV without a license. They can't, if they come to the door, they're not coming in. So how can they prove either way, whether I've got a working television or not? Mr. Turning Points, do you ever watch the BBC? Well, I don't have a working television. No, I haven't watched. The television I haven't watched in a long time. I get my news from the internet. The YouTube channels. Joanna B is in the house. Hello to you, Joanna B. Mr. Turning Points. Most of these old people are fined upwards of 12 grand. What are they fined for? What fine is for 12 grand? I think the fine is, I thought it was 1,000 for a TV license if you're dumb enough to let them in the house. Andy Smith says, if you want to know what goes on in UK news, I recommend you looking up Alex Belfield on YouTube. Oh, yeah. Well, the thing is, there are plenty of news outlets for watching American news, English news. It's just that English news is so boring. 2, it's only going to agitate me and get me worked up because I know the country's going down the shitter. It has been ever since they opened up the borders. Thanks very much to politicians for that one. So it's been going downhill for years, and there's fuck all I can do about it. So it's only going to get me annoyed and agitated and worked up if I watch it on the news. So I decide not to. So I just watch the American news. It's much more lively and interesting. And I can still do bugger all about it. But like I say, it's more interesting. Read the bit above. That's what they're fined for. All right. I don't know. If you talk about, maybe watching the BBC, I don't know, the fine isn't that much. Yeah, it's only £1,000, I'm sure. Yeah. Turning points. News equals snooze. Am I right? Oh, Neil Fitzpatrick is in the house. Just jumped in there saying hello. Hello to you, Neil Fitzpatrick. Welcome. And, oh dear. That's the thing. I've got a fairly good audience watching today. Any subjects you want me to talk about? What my throw in some interesting ones. We've covered the trannies. We've covered Rittenhouse, the verdict. We've covered a little bit of George. Fuck him. Good riddance. Glad he's dead. Floyd. We've covered him. Oh, Barry says nice shirt. Thank you very much. Yeah, well, I haven't worn this for a while actually. Yeah, it's one of my comfortable shirts. In fact, the T-shirt underneath, I can't remember where I got that. I might have got this from the charity shop. I don't know. No, I might have got given it. I don't know. I can't remember. But this shirt from the charity. See, I don't know what that is. Turning points. What do you think of the new Hellraiser casting for Pophead? I have no idea. I'm familiar with the Hellraiser movies. I had no idea that they're doing a remake. I don't know who they've casted for it. I didn't even know they were doing it. Neil Fitzpatrick, are electric cars really the future? Well, the thing is, there is talk about them burning more fossil fuels to generate the electric to charge the cars. So apparently they're not really all that efficient, they say. I mean, the only efficient way to do it is if you can get it to run on seawater. That'd be a big help. Actually, you can get if the water levels are rising, we can get cars to work on seawater, bring the levels down again. Solar power cars, that'd be But that's the thing. People want speed, and I don't know how fast you can get out of a solar power car. Turning points. Have you not seen I'm Hellraiser. I'm familiar with Hellraiser, the one from the 80s. I had no idea they were making a remake. I've not heard of that. See, I didn't even know there was a character called Pophead. I know there was Pinhead, who was who's that guy? Zod from the Superman movies, Terrence Stamp. He was Pinhead, I believe, in the 80s version. Quincy 111, Mark, did you ever hear those strange trumpet noises coming from the sky years ago? No, I don't think trumpet noises coming from the sky. No, how many years ago was this? I mean, yeah, Neil Fitzpatrick says the batteries will be shagged after a few years, like a phone battery. Yeah, phone batteries only don't last very long. That's the thing about phones, I mean, I go for I always go into the shop and I say to them, okay, show me the 3 cheapest phones you got. Okay, and they'll show me a display of, and I say, out of the £10, this is a £10 phone. And out of the 3 that they show, I say, like, just show me the lowest priced, 3 lowest priced ones, and out of the 3, I'll choose one. Every time I get, almost, when I'm watching somebody on the bus scroll, you look at these expensive phones, they've all got cracks in the screen. I mean, what do they do? Frisbee in these fuckers around the house or something? Why is it? I mean, can people not hold on to their phone long enough not to crack the screen? Turning points. Yeah, it's Pinhead. Yeah, that's what threw me off. Pophead didn't ring a bell, but Pinhead. Yeah, yeah. So who are they casting for Pinhead then? Because Terrence Stamp did the original one. Luke asks, do you think UK will lock down again? Well, that's the thing. I mean, who knows? I mean, they probably. I mean, they had the lockdown. That was great. The grass was, growing. Animals was. You could see animals. A bit more roaming around. Everybody's getting a bit lax now. That's the thing. I had a discussion with somebody on the allotment the other day, and he couldn't understand why people were not getting vaccinated. I mean, he caught the plague, and he said he was messed up for about 10 days or a couple of weeks. But the thing is, he's in the age group and the health category where he's probably susceptible. But the thing is, we had a 10-minute discussion about the thing is, I mean, what's freedom of choice. When you have the government telling you have to take medical treatment, then it's a downhill slope, because some people may not see the relevance to it. But when the government says you will take this medical treatment or else, against your will, against your, when you don't want to. Because as an adult in England, you have the right to refuse medical treatment. You could get hit by a car. You'd be laying there all mangled in the street. You can refuse medical help. It's not a good idea, but you have the legal right, and you do, and somebody will be breaking the law if they forced medical attention on you. There are certain caveats to that. Say, for example, if you were a kid, you could probably, they could probably, they couldn't force an injection on you against your will, but they could probably, help you with a fucked up broken leg and all this. I guess. I don't know. Or if you're of, if you're of not sound of mind. But that's what he mentioned as well. About sectioning people who, because if you don't take this treatment, the COVID plague treatment, then you're not of sound mind, and then they can section you. This is what he's saying. And I said, whoa, hold on. Just because you don't agree with what the government are trying to shove down your throat doesn't mean you're out of your mind. Just because you don't want to, you don't want a experimental drug. 2, you might not. Well, you don't. Maybe you don't want it. It's perfectly your decision. 3, you may feel that you are not in the risk category, age-wise and health-wise. You figure, well, So who are the government to say that you must have it? See, because the government is saying, well, those who don't have the injection and the treatment are basically fucking up the lives of everybody else. But if you've had the injection, why would you worry that the guy next to you has not had it? If you've got the injection, you're safe, And then so don't worry about the people who don't want the injection. If you've got the injection, you're covered. And if you're not, why are you taking the injection in the first place if it's no fucking good and it's not protecting you? And now you see first you had an injection. Then 2 weeks later, you had a second injection, a booster. Now you're having a third one, and now you're having what was it called? A booster? Yeah, a third one, and now there's a fourth, I think, or something. No, I mean, next week it'll be another one. How many injections do you need? I mean, if it's like I had my second last year. I had one, and this about a week ago I had one. The flu injection. Apparently, now that I'm over 50, I'm qualified for a free Flu injection. That lasts a year. One injection lasts a year. You know, you can go and get a tetanus and it lasts you fuck knows like 20 years or so. When I was a teen, because I was working around woodwork, metal, and all this kind of stuff, doing construction shit, I got a tetanus jab. Years later, I was working in doing a bit of destruction, knocking down walls and all this kind of shit. And I went to the doctor. I said, "Listen, I'm doing some high risk job here. I might get myself cut and all this lot. Perhaps I need another tetanus." And they looked at my chart. "Oh, no. You got another 5 years left on your because it's such a good dose. You got another 5 years to go." And that was probably 15 years. I don't know how long it lasts, but so surely, for this plague injection, they don't need to give you 3, 4, 5 injections, just one injection. Tetanus, one injection lasts you 20, 25 years. Flu injection, once every 12 months. Chinese plague, 5, There's something wrong there. So, no, I figure, fuck them. I don't need it. I don't want it. If I'm 51, if I was an extra, in 15 years' time, when I'm about 65 or so, yeah, maybe not. I don't know. But the thing is, I'm an adult. I will make my own decision. My decision is no, thank you. I don't want it. I mean, for some people are out there saying, "Oh yeah, well, you're being a fucking bit awkward." But no, if you've got the injection, you've got fuck all to worry about. And if it was that bad, then see, because I mean, when it first hit, okay, it was a pain in the ass. You couldn't get on the bus without the mask. You couldn't go into the shop. There was a queue outside the shop every 6. They had markers on the floor in the car park. Every 6 feet, there'll be a marker to stand on. The buses were only at half. See, that was a stupid thing as well. The buses were only at half. They weren't laying on extra buses. The buses that were there, they would only allow half the usual amount of people. So there's lots of gaps. But remember, you're in a box on wheels. So it doesn't matter if there's a guy at the front of the bus and if there's only 2 people on the bus, one at the very front and one 20 feet behind the back of the bus, you're in a sealed box. It doesn't matter if the standing room only or there's 2 people in the bus. You're still breathing the same air, so it doesn't really matter. You don't need to have half capacity on, and that's what he was like. Now it's back to normal. The buses are, crammed as many people as you can. At one point they refused to let you on the bus if you weren't wearing a mask, unless you had one of those little stupid ID badges. I'm a fucking dickhead and I'm a moron and I've got one of these because I don't function in society, so I've got a little badge that says I'm exempt because I'm. I was tempted to get one of those actually, just so I could say, look, fuck off, I'm not wearing a mask. Because you go to CEX and they're like, oh, yeah, they're giving me shit about not wearing a mask, and they got these people. Oh yeah, I'm exempt, I'm special. I've got a badge here. But no, it's back to normal now. You can get on without a mask. You can wear a mask. Don't wear a mask. If you want to see, the thing is, as far as I can see, yeah, I mean, you get on the bus, like I say, whether there's 2 people or 42 people, the risk is still there. You're still in a sealed fucking square box on wheels. Yeah, anyway. Peter B, going back to gaming, your brother did well to actually get his hands on a PS5. I've not been able to get. Yeah, I don't know where he got it from. I mean, it cost a lot of money. He was telling me a lot of money, John D, Austria. has lockdown. I've been to Austria. A place called Oberau, I think the name was. I went skiing there. Austria. Yeah. That was where I found out that our Twix bars are called Raiders over there. That was really funny because I must have been 15 or 16. We went on a school trip for a week to go skiing in Austria, and we're all in the hotel. We're all in the hotel. Of course, we're 15, 16-year-olds, right? We're all in the hotel. There's like 12 of us all in this one room, because we weren't living 12 to a room. We're all, all hanging out in one room, and we're all leaning out the hotel window screaming abuse in German to the people that are walking down the street. Oh man, those were the days. Adam Palfrey. Adam Palfrey. Hey Mark, can I have a shout out for my newborn son? Apparently, see, Frankie is his name. There you go. To shout out to Frankie and Adam Palfrey, the dad. Shout out for you. There you go. Joanna B is still with us. Hello to you. Luke, £500. Oh, is that what the PS, the games thing costs? How am I? Tired, drunk, aching. That's because I'm sitting. That's the thing. I don't do well sitting down for long. My knees. My knees start going. Anyway. Joanna B. Yeah, we were talking about Old Boggy earlier. I know you're not a fan of Old Boggy, but because I missed Halloween again, so Old Boggy wasn't able to bring out Old Boggy for this time round because the computer was down. But next time. There you go. Oh, you've got quite a lot of people watching. Anybody who's watching who hasn't hit the thumbs up yet, go ahead. In fact, if you hit the thumbs up, write a message saying that you've done the thumbs up. I'll give you a quick shout. Yeah, there you go. Oh, Peter. Oh, Peter B. There you go. Another moderator. Oh, 22. Let's see. Mr. Turning Points has done the thumbs up ages ago. Thank you very much, Turning Points. Joanna B. done. Thank you very much. Oh, so I lost one. Down to 21 thumbs up now. Somebody's changed. Oh, well, it's back up to 22. There you go. Yeah, John D. What do you think about YouTube removing the dislike button? Yeah, well, they've done that. See, at the top of my left screen there, they've done that ages ago. It's a pain in the ass because I'm sure they used to have up and down. I'm sure they did both. Yeah, see, because up here, well, you won't be able to see, but anyway, in my top left, it says live. It says that I've been live for 2 hours, 23 minutes, 22 seconds. It tells me how many people are watching, but not in real time, so that can fluctuate. How many people are watching and how many thumbs up. It doesn't tell me how many thumbs down, so I don't know what the ratio is, which is, it's a bloody pain. YouTube, they're always fucking with stuff, Just when you get used to a way things work, then they go and change it, I'm sure they do it just to annoy me, because if I don't like when the computer was down for a few months, I wasn't able to load any videos. I come back now, I can't even put a thumbnail at the start of the in front of the live. It's a big drag, and the way that I load videos, that's changed slightly. Mr. Turning Points, could I be a moderator here, Mark? Well, maybe one day. I've got 2 already, but thank you. Andy Smith, is of the opinion that the Chinese plague vaccine is well worth getting. Well, yeah, possibly. If you're of a mind that you want to, sure, great. But when you have the government telling you do, I mean, in some places in America now, people are being fired from their jobs to, if they're not vaccinated, But no, it's a dangerous slope when you've got the government telling you will have this medical procedure or medical treatment, whether you want it or not. What is this, fucking China? No. No, freedom of choice. You can either have it or you don't. Besides, who does it? But who does it unbenefit or not benefit from? Say I don't, and you do. If you have had the vaccine, you're covered. It's not like I can give it to you because the plague, because you've got the vaccine. You're covered. You're safe. You're good. Turning points. Yep, 19 watching. I've got 21 thumbs up. Anybody else want to hit the thumbs up? I'll give you a quick shout. Someone's giving me 2 thumbs down. Oh, yeah. Yeah, they don't want people feeling to be hurt. Actually, that's right. I read, because when you every now and again, every month or so, YouTube send you an email. Well, I send people like me, people who make videos. They'll send me an email with all the ways that they're going to be fucking with us. And I remember a long time ago, I read it, and I couldn't believe my ears. I couldn't believe my eyes, because it actually said something along the way of they don't want people to be distressed by looking at thumbs down. It was something to do with the thumbs up, thumbs down business. They didn't want people. What was it? Oh, you know what it was? It was because like as a person who makes videos, when I look at my main screen, it tells me how many subscribers I have. I've got 2,200 subscribers. But what it does, when you get to between 0 and 1,000, it gives you, every time somebody subscribes, it will go up 1. Somebody else subscribes, it'll go up one number, by multiples of 1. When you reach a certain point, it only tells me how many subs I got in multiples of 10. And then I get to a certain point, and it'll only update it in multiples of 100, that kind of thing. And it said in the we're fucking with you this month by doing this email that they sent. It said it's to stop anxiety from YouTube contributors, to know that people are subscribed. You're having some subscribers, and then you're losing some. You're getting some, you're losing some. You're getting some, you're losing. It was to stop anxiety, and that's why they did that. So that makes sense. They don't want people to know about the thumbs down, because they'll be like, oh no, somebody doesn't like me. Fuck me. That's the way we're getting to now. Nobody can. They don't want people to know about the thumbs down. I mean, I'm asking people to, if they want to tell me how many thumbs down I have. Out of curiosity, I realized that there are some people who don't like what I say. I can I get that all the time. But no, I mean, most of us are adults. It's only the snowflakes and the people who get participating medals, like the youngsters that are coming up. You get a medal just for showing up. It's those people who are going to get upset by a downvote. Joanna B says, I was your first lot of 10 subs. Yeah, you have been around forever, for a long time. Yeah. Yeah, Joanna B's with the channel. I've still got your badge up there. Joanna B sent a badge with Mark's remarks on it. Yeah, been around. I mean, you haven't liked all the content, I know, but that's the thing. You can't please everybody, and well, the thing is with the channel, I sort of take it in. I'm trying to take it in a certain direction. Live streams, of course, people complain that the live streams are me being, totally different to my cookery, which they are. They're totally different. Which some people don't seem to like. But that's the thing. It's like we've had this discussion once before, Joanna, that you have to have one captain of the ship. It's like because you get lots of input. Everybody's it's like the line from Platoon. Opinions are like assholes. Like everybody's got one, right? You can have all these messages coming through, suggestions, but there has to be one guy that makes the decision to travel it forward. There's a line from Star Trek where Captain Kirk is asking somebody, because you ask, you see Captain Kirk, a situation will come up and he'll say, what would you do in this situation? Like, some guy delivering a cup of tea, right? Or sorting out some paperwork. And he's got to say to the captain, okay, I would do this. And he said, okay, well, what would you do in this? What he's doing, he's just basically giving people an opportunity to show their 2 cents worth and see if anybody's got any skills in problem solving. And somebody said to him, well, why did you ask my opinion if you had no intention of saying, well, that's the privilege of being a captain. I can ask all your opinions without actually having to take it. But somebody asked about the direction of the show earlier, the channel. I send it in a certain direction, and I try to please. Well, that's the thing. I try to please the people who are willing to be on board and follow the program. But yeah, you can't please everybody, So I do a little bit for everybody. If you want, I've got my cookery for wholesome content. I've got this for anybody who wants to hear straight talk. Mr. Turning Points has been around for years too. Yeah, there's a lot of people have been with the channel forever. Actually, yeah, John D says if I click on a how-to video and it has a lot of dislikes, I know to probably click away. So it's a useful feature. Interesting. Yeah. Because I've seen that. Sometimes if you've got like 5 ups, and actually I noticed that when I watch the Fox, I watch the Fox News. I've actually the NSBC channels and all the rest of them, the false news channels. I've barred them. Their videos don't come into my feed. I watch the Fox. And when you click on their thing, you see 11,000 ups and 150 downs. You know that the majority of people like this content. And I'll tell you something else. Years ago, what used to happen was when you in your thumbnail, in the thumbnails, right, you'd see the thumbnail in the right-hand side of the screen, a whole list of them. And also you'd see a bar, a red bar. So when you yes, so that bar, even before you click onto the video, the bar used to tell you whether it's heavily liked or heavily disliked. So if you if you look at a thumbnail and it's heavily disliked, you think, well, nobody likes that, I won't bother clicking on it. But yeah, they got rid of that, because the thing is, it's not in YouTube's interest for you to make an informed decision about whether you want to watch a video. They want you to click on as many videos as possible because it's ad revenue for them, Mr. Turning Points, I love the videos about your dinners. Yeah, I like filming something unusual for dinner, or not maybe unusual, but putting different things together. All right, Joanna B, good night to you. Bloody hell, look at that, it's 11:45. Quarter to midnight. Is anybody watching from abroad? Oh, hello, Fletcher O'Riordan. Fletcher O'Riordan. It says hello, how am I? I'm okay, thank you. In fact, I'm not sure how long I'll be here for too much longer, because I'm feeling really tired. I've got to get something to eat. Trouble is, actually, what I could do, because I've got two ovens. I've got a big oven, which is really great now, because you've seen that, and I've got a mini oven. If I put the pies in the big oven and I fall asleep, the house will burn down. But if I put them in the mini oven, that's got a timer on it, and that'll stop when the timer finishes. So I'll put them in there. Right, good night to you, Joanna B. She's off to Benny Buys, I guess. Luke, what supermarket do you shop at? Mostly the Co-op. Yeah, mostly the Co-op. When the need arises, I'll go to farm foods and stock. What I do is I try and use up pretty much all the stuff, because I've got several freezers. I've got the fridge freezer, which is mostly for open packets and stuff, with the drawers you pull out. I've got a chest freezer, which is only for veg. And I've got another chest freezer, which is only for meat products, meat pies, fish fingers, chicken Kievs, chicken nuggets, steaks, meat products. The reason behind that is because people at home could probably people watching could probably relate to this. When I used to have the one freezer, you pile everything in, right, and then you pull out some meat pies, right, and then you got to drag 12 things out of the freezer to find the chips at the bottom of the freezer, right? And then you got to go a little bit further, and then you pile it all back in, and the next day you got to pull out some chicken Kievs, and then you got to pull out 12 things to find the roast potatoes, and do the same thing with the 3 or 4 different types of veg, the peas, the sweet corn. They're all in different levels of the freezer. It's just a bloody nightmare. So what I figure is just have one freezer full of veg, so when I open it, okay, it's there, right? So I use what veg is at the top of the heap. And almost the same with the meat freezer. I go in, I can see what's going on. I've got the pies over there, I've got the fish fingers, I've got chicken Kievs, I've got the steaks, I've got chicken nuggets over here. Anyway, just makes life easy. So when the freezer goes down to a level, if the veg drops down, almost gone, I know that I can go to Farm Foods and I'll buy 50 quid's worth of frozen veg, chips, roast potatoes, all the veg, the sweet corn, the peas, the Brussels sprouts, all the stuff. Fill the freezer up, and that's done. All right, and then when the meat one goes, I do the same thing. Fletcher, and I pronounced it wrong. I pronounced it O'Riordan. Surname is always a weird one. It's Irish. O'Riordan. Oh, okay. O'Riordan. Fletcher O'Riordan. I'm trying to think. Is there a snooker player with a similar name? O'Riordan. I don't know. Oh, Fletcher O'Riordan. Have you seen the new Pringles logo? No. In fact, I got this I got this from Poundland actually just the other day. The honey glazed ham. Yeah, smells like feet. But anyway, it doesn't taste too bad. Yeah, thing is, it's one of the very few flavors they had. I only ever see the co-op. So a lot of the time they got these at £3.30. I buy them when they're on special at about £1.60, £1.65, because they've only got about three flavors. So I buy the salt and vinegar one mostly. This I got from Poundland actually Poundland go about £1.25. £1.50. So not everything's a pound. It's about £1.25, £1.50. But no, I don't know what's going on different with the. What's different? Is it the bow tie? How about this new Pringles logo? Oh, Fletcher says that's it. Yeah. So it's the tie. Actually, I was just because I'm looking at it and thinking, yeah, it might be the something. There's something different. A bit like what I said earlier about seeing a tranny in the street. There's something just not quite right, and I'm looking at that. Yeah, the bow tie. It's just something stood out as being not usual. New one, he's got no hair. Oh, okay. Well, this one's got hair, but the new one apparently doesn't have any hair, according to Fletcher O'Riordan. Newt is in the house. Fletcher O'Riordan says, Google the new one. Yeah. Well, I'll look out for it in the shop. That's what I'll do. It'll be easier. He's always had the boat. Oh, apparently he's always had the bow tie. I don't know. That might be. Yeah, it might be threw me off because I'm not used to this flavour and this colour tin. I go the blue one, the salt and vinegar mostly. So yeah, it might be just the colours that threw me off. Right, we've had a few new people in. By all means, go and hit the thumbs up. Be a pal. Hit the thumbs up. Put your name. Say you hit the thumbs up, and I'll give you a quick shout. I've got 22 up there now. Newt, have you got that? £5. Newt asks, have I watched any good movies recently? No. Actually, yes. Last night, I watched. I tell you, it's actually the second time I've watched it. It's on YouTube. It's a free movie on YouTube. It's called The Captain. And what it is, it's a German film, subtitled. But yeah, don't let that put you off. There's a lot of good. The French and the Germans, they can make some really good films. As long as you don't mind. Some English people they don't like to be reading while they're watching the movies. Me, I think it's fine. What I don't like is when they put white subtitles against a white snowy background. It's fucking stupid, but they do it. The Captain. Everybody write that down if you want to watch a good movie. It's a German one, like I say. It starts off. There's a deserter from the German army. He's been chased through the woods, and he loses he comes across a crashed car, a car that's been crashed into the mud, and the occupants have vacated. It turns out it's a German vehicle, which is lucky for this German guy. Anyway, so yeah, he's in rags and he's lost his shoes and all that. He's in a bit of a poor state. He's been running through the woods and hiding under tree roots and shit and just trying not to get himself killed. Anyway, he comes across a car. He finds a captain's uniform in the car. And what he does, he gets dressed up in the captain's uniform And the whole movie is him going through it, and he passes himself off as a captain. Being that he's a deserter, he teams up with these soldiers who are looking for deserters. So he figures, I bet, because there was because he figures he may as well team up with them, so then he doesn't have to produce his papers that he doesn't have, because he bluffs it a lot of the time. People demanding papers, and he blags it, about using his authority to not show them his papers. So he teams up with them. He ends up in a prison camp where a whole lot of deserters are being held captive, and he has them executed and shot and machine gunned and buried, put in the graves and all that lot, even though he's one of them. And he is really good. And he goes, like, the whole movie, he's passing himself off as a captain. It's called The Captain. It's the German subtitles. I really recommend it. I've watched it twice, and it's very good. Anyway, but aside from that, no, I haven't really watched hardly any films. Good one around my house. Mr. Turning Point's Mud. Right. There is a movie called Mud. It's got the guy from Reign of Fire, the one with the dragons, and they're hunting the dragons. It's set in London. And he's part of a team that go flying in the plane, a helicopter. They jump out, and they're like free falling. And then they set these nets to catch the dragons, and they fall to the ground. Matthew Donaghy. He was in a film called Mud. I don't know whether that's what you meant there, but that was a very good film. Mr. Turning Points. He's talking to somebody about TV license men. Turning Points. Mark, do you think... Oh, Yetis. I was wondering what that word was. Interesting. Do I think Yetis exist? No. I think it's all a load of hooey, just like the Loch Ness Monster, okay? For years, people were convinced that a ripple on the ground, or ripple on the loch, was a Loch Ness Monster. That famous one where you've got the head of the long neck and the head of the thing going on. That turned out to be an upside down toy boat. The guy fessed up to that on his deathbed. And people see, the thing is, people are convinced. I mean, there have been documentaries. People are convinced that they've seen the Loch Ness Monster come out of the water. And, they've been out there fishing on their boat, and it's stuck its head out of the water, and they've seen it, and it's, they're full of shit, and they have been for years. And basically, they make up stories because somebody puts a TV camera in front of them. Have you seen the Loch Ness? Fucking right. Yeah, the thing's out there every weekend. I saw it. It was this close. And people do the same thing with a Yeti. They'll say, people will say anything if you put a TV camera in front of them. People want to be on the telly, and people will talk shit if you put a TV camera in front of them, and the Yeti is no exception. People believe these things about the. Christ, you can buy fake feet from toy shops. That's what they've done. And what they've done, they've put them on their feet. They've made footprints in the sand. Then they've got some plaster of Paris and put it in there. And then they come out with a big plaster of Paris mold of a big monster foot. And then you've got footage of, it's always, and the footage is never, there's a reason why footage is from half a mile away. It's grainy as all hell, and they're jumping on a trampoline while they're filming is because they don't want a clear picture, because if they do, it'll be bloody obvious it's a man in a suit. So what they do is they have as shaky as they can, and then some silly bastard will give them money for it. So no, I don't believe Yetis exist. I don't believe ghosts exist. I don't believe in the Loch Ness Monster. In fact, the only monsters that exist are the people that Kyle Rittenhouse dispatched with good order when they were rioting and trying to murder him. They're the only monsters around: child rapists and murderers or attempted murderers. They're the only real monsters. Yeah, turning points. Matthew, what's his face? Yeah, Matthew Donahue. I'll probably. Yeah, he did that Rain of Fire. Mud, yeah, Mud. I've seen one before. What, Yeti? Mr. Turning Points, I haven't heard anyone talk about Yetis for ages. Yeah, I mean, there's videos all over. It's always in the dark, where it's all shadows, or it's half a mile away, or they got the shakes from too much coffee, and they're like, nah. I mean, the thing is, with the Yetis as well. I mean, to have, I mean, it's like the Loch Ness monster. The thing's got what? It's got to be like, I mean, fucking 2,000 years old if it's a dinosaur. There's no way it's 2,000 years old. Things don't live that long. All right. So then you'd have to have at least two of them to breed. And to have a constant supply of Loch Ness monsters and a deep enough gene pool, you'd have to have a whole shitload of them, not just one. You'd have a whole bunch of them that are breeding, left and right. Same with the Yetis. One isn't going to live a couple of hundred years, right? So you have to have two to have offspring. And then what you got? You got the mum and dad Yeti with a couple of babies. The babies are mating with the fucking mum and dad, and then you got fucking So you're going to have a large amount of Yetis, a big community of Yetis, a tribe of Yetis, if you like. Okay, and then when you've got dozens of Yetis running around, you wouldn't be able to go into the forest without falling over one, right? So, no, the sheer number of Yetis that you would need to create enough diversity in the gene pool, you would need a vast amount. You'd need dozens and dozens and dozens of, and even then, say you got 3 dozen Yetis running around. That's 36. That gene pool is going to get pretty shallow, Yeah, we don't know how long a Yeti will live. Well, sure. All right, but if you go by other, say grizzly bears, I mean, that they can go 30, 40 plus years. Monkeys, gorillas, they can go, 20, sometimes 30, I believe, close to 30 in captivity when they don't have predators, they don't have diseases, they got all the medical care they can handle and all the food that they can eat. A chimp can go up to close to 30. Yeah, I mean, but they're not going to last, they're not going to be in any kind of fixed shape after 50 years, and they're not going to, but that's the thing. I mean, say they last 100 years, which is way out of the, all right, but let's just say 100 years. Then what? It needs other Yetis to be bringing up offspring for the next generation of, bogus cameramen to be filming. Matthew McConaughey. Thank you, Andy Smith. So, but yeah, that's on the outside. But realistically, a chimp, 30, Grizzly bears, from what I understand, they can go up to sort of 30, maybe 40 above that in some cases. In extreme circumstances, when they got plenty of food, nobody fucking with them, nobody trying to kill them, no predators. Yeah, all right. So a Yeti manages to get to 50. Let's just say somewhere in the middle. It needs a vast amount of other Yetis to be keeping the gene pool pretty deep. Newt, a single Yeti may live 10,000 years for all we know. Yeah, true. I get. Well, not true, but I see your point. Actually, yeah. Turning points. Dolph Lundgren is about 90. Well, a bit young. Yeah, younger than that. Actually, but I wouldn't want to fight him. I know. Actually, Dolph Lundgren. Yeah, he's got to be about roughly. I would say 70, but he's getting pretty old. Turning points. What if Yetis subdivide like some jellyfish? Newt saw a Bigfoot when he went to a holiday in Tibet. It was fighting the gorillas. Actually, I was watching some clips of the $6 Million Man, one with Lee Majors, and he was having a fight with a Yeti. So I guess, you never know. Could be, could subdivide when they. All right. It's been we're coming up on 3 hours. In 3 minutes, it'll be 3 hours. I'm going to go. I've got to eat. It's 5 past midnight. All right. We've talked about quite a bunch of subjects. Thank you. Yeah. Turning Points. Great stream, he says. So thank you for all your questions and comments. Turning Points. Who we got? Oh, Peter B. Sasquatch. Live in forest, like in Harry and the... Oh, yeah. Harry and the Hendersons. Harry and the Hendersons, that was one of those examples where the English and the Americans have a different title. California Man, the one with like George of the Jungle, that guy, and he's from The Mummy. He was in it. The kids dig a swimming pool in the backyard and uncover a caveman. It's whatever that guy's name is, George from the Jungle. The American version was called Encino Man. Encino, California was the suburb. Encino Man. We got it as California Man because nobody's going to watch a movie called Encino Man because nobody knows what the fuck it is, right? But we call it California Man. Bigfoot and the Hendersons was called another name. Harry and the Hendersons, I think. And I think we had it as Bigfoot and the Hendersons, whereas they had it Harry and the Hendersons. Or, yeah. Brendan Fraser, thank you. Newt. Brendan Fraser was in California Man. Yeah, he was the caveman. Newt. What was George of the Jungle? Oh, that was like a sort of a comedy Tarzan spin-off. Brendan Fraser was George. Instead of Tarzan of the Apes, he was George of the Jungle. George of the Jungle, watch out for that tree. The gag was he'd be swinging down with the vine and smash into a tree, and there'll be a big imprint of his whole body in the tree, and it was a running gag. John Cleese played the voice of the monkey. There was a big monkey who was Cheetah, equivalent to Cheetah in the Tarzan, but he could talk and he wore glasses and he would be reading books, and he's quite funny. George of the Jungle. All right. Yeah, George of the Jungle. Oh, in fact, Jesus. In fact, you know what? One of the Spider-Man movies where the guy turned into the Sandman, and I can't remember his name. If anybody knows it, yeah, one of the so he goes, he falls into a pit. There's some kind of rotating generator thing, and his particles get dismantled and mixed in with the sand, and then from then on, oh shit, he was in a movie called Sideways. Superman 3 could have been, I don't know. He's in a movie called Sideways. He's called Sandman. Yeah. So that guy, he was in George of the Jungle as well, along with Brendan Fraser and John Cleese as yeah, it might be, I don't know, one of the Spider-Man movies. And then, yeah, because he's Sandman, he can turn into sand and he can turn into a person. Christian, his name is something Christian in his name. Anyway, yeah, Sideways, that was a really good movie. Thomas Hayden Church. Oh yeah, did I say Christian? I mean Hayden, not Christian. Yeah, thank you. Turning Points. Thomas Hayden Church played the Sandman. He was in George of the Jungle. Is Tobey Maguire? Yeah, I believe. Yeah, Tobey Maguire, he made a good Spider-Man. Anyway, it's been 3 hours. Thank you to everybody for watching. I'm gonna go now. Anybody missed the beginning stuff? You missed a whole, about the court case and all that lot. We were talking about that. You can watch the reruns. Okay. Yeah. Anyway, so don't forget, put your comments on the reruns. You can put comments, do all that, hit the thumbs up and all that. And thank you everybody for watching and sticking with the channel. It's 10 past midnight, so I'm gonna go eat. I'm starving, and I'll bid you good night to everybody. Good night.